going on YouTube, Facebook, and of course special shout out to the Barber Society. This your boy TazThaBarber coming to you again with the barber tip of the week. I wanted to do something special this week that is geared towards my barber students who are coming to the point to where they're about to transition to working in the shop. This is a tip and something that I think that's important to bring to the table. So what we'll be talking about today, or what I'll be talking about today, is how to build clientele and the truth behind it. I guess you can say that's the subject. But the reason why I wanted to touch bases on this is because I know this is a very pivotal point for barber students who are eager to start working in the shop, to start building clientele. And you know, your clients ultimately is your make or break point in this career. So, you know, you start off fired up and you're just eager to go. But I want to just highlight some things, some very important things that I think are very pivotal in understanding in this process of becoming a well-established barber, which will take some time. So I guess my first point that I want to cover is understanding that this is a process. Getting clientele do not happen overnight. I know a lot of barbers, you know, they be excited. They know what they can bring to the table and they're just eager to show people, but it's not going to happen overnight. You know, especially depending on the type of shop you in, the type of flow, the type of transition that it happens is really going to determine how your growth happens. But don't get discouraged or get frustrated, because I know a lot of students who start off get real mad, real discouraged, and some even give up because things don't happen as fast as they thought they were going to happen, or as fast as they wanted to. And so what I want to highlight is that depending on how your shop is, the shop that you start working at, depending on their walk-in flow or their turnover rate, you know, your first year, to me, your first year transitioning is going to be your roughest year, your toughest year. It's going to be your grind year when you put all your efforts into building your brand. I'm going to touch on building your brand in my next point. So going in, understanding that it's going to take time. It's going to take time. And the reason why is because 9 times out of 10, majority of the people who are going to be your clients in the future typically start off as somebody else's clients first. You know, whether it's at another barber shop, whether they got a friend who, you know, cut hair at the crib, or they dibble dabble themselves, you know, most of the time they're somebody else's client. And until something happens, whether they become curious and come check you out and you kind of outshine their barber, or their barber end up going through something. Well, you know, we have barbers who may go to jail or stop cutting, or something may happen. Now they need to find another barber, or the guy that used to come to the house don't do it no more. But until something happens, they're not going to make that transition. I say, even though, you know, you better than them, you can do, you know, you can cut circles around whoever they getting their hair cut. Until something happens, that transition is not going to take place. So be patient. Be patient, because that stuff takes time. You know, you'll find out that sooner or later you'll start getting like, man, I went to this barber, you know, man, he jacked me up, he did this. You know, I'm looking for a new barber. Or, you know, man, my barber, he went to jail, I got to find some place to cut me up. Or you may find somebody who need to do an emergency cut. Like, man, I got somewhere to go right now. My barber was booked up. And you lock them in. Because the biggest thing is that when you go into a shop, no matter how good you are, how great you are, the people around you, the customers, the people in the streets, the people in the store, they don't know you. They don't know what you can offer. They don't know what you can bring to the table. And you don't allow yourself to expect that because you're such a great talent that people are going to come to you. You have to bring your service and your talent to them. You have to bring your exposure or let them know your brand, what you do. You got to take it to them. And then once they see it, once they experience, then they decide to become a part of it. So it's going to take time. It's a process. Number 2, I want to deal with branding. And I know branding is real big on business marketing and things like that. But why I feel that it's important to students to understand is that anytime you offer a service or a product, you become a brand. Whether it's Nike, Adidas, whether it's my camera I'm using, Nikon, anytime you provide something, it's a brand. And being a barber, you represent your brand. Until you get customers who are another form of marketing and advertisement for you, because they're your models. They're like walking billboards is what I call them, because they highlight your work. But you represent the face of your brand, of the service, of what you do. So being mindful of that is that everything you do reflects that. Even I know some people may feel like, well, hey, I only reflect who I am while I'm on shop hours, while I got my schmuck on. But one of my philosophies is that advertisement don't take no days off. Advertisement is 24/7. And the way you represent your brand is 24/7. Excuse me. Whether you in the shop, whether you walk into the gas station, whether you walking around the mall, wherever you at, you reflect your brand. And if you want to attract clients to you, because you can have people, I have people who walked up to me who may see my haircut, or I may have on like a barber t-shirt, and they were just intrigued, like, man, I like your style, or I really like your haircut. Who did it? That opened the door, like, oh yeah, I'm a barber. I cut myself up. Oh man, you think you can do this? So being able to understand how you carry yourself reflects that. You got to look at it from a customer's point of view or a client's point of view. Would you rather have somebody that come to you confident, speaking properly, things are real put together, letting you know about the services that they offer? Or would you want somebody who just may have their pants sagging, really don't care, they got the little barber jacket on that's dirty, and you got dried up shaving cream money, like, man, look, take my card, man, come check me out, I'm a beast, I can get you crispy, ooh. No, unless you're talking to somebody that's, in the streets, in the hood, that be like, man, really don't care, like, man, just trim me up. Or if you're talking to somebody that's a business professional, who image is very important to them, they're not going to be intrigued by that. They're not going to be interested in that. And the thing is that you want to have potential clients interested in the service that you can provide. That's very important, because they're not going to follow up if they're not interested. If they feel like it's a waste of time, I don't care what type of card you give them, what type of discount you give them. If they're not interested, they is not going to care. So being able to understand how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, how you speak, your demeanor. It's nothing wrong with being confident, but you don't want to be cocky, because you don't know how that may reflect to the customer. And you always want to try to be mindful of what you putting out to a potential customer. Of course, you can't ultimately understand what a person sees about you, but you can influence some of the things that you expose to a potential customer. So even speaking on that, your branding, knowing how you cover yourself, your advertisement, your business cards, that's another important thing. We are very creative creatures. We are artists in our own right. And one of the things I find is that I find a lot of new barbers, new students, who want to pack everything on their card. They want to feel like, which ain't nothing wrong with it, they want to feel like they can highlight everything. But what they don't realize is that card becomes bombarded, and it becomes chaotic, to where the full focus or the full reason that card is being given out or being designed is lost in the mix, because you got a picture of yourself on there, you got the shop name, you got your logo name, you got all your haircuts you done did, you got the whole price list, you got your website, you got the Twitter page, your Facebook page, your Tumblr page, your Instagram page, you got the picture of your car on the rims, and you got the big booty chick in the corner. Like, it becomes so saturated that the true art or the real reason why you're trying to highlight this card or give this card is lost in the mix. One of the most important things that I try to maintain is I try to maintain a balance. I like everything to be balanced. The way I carry myself, even though I'm just in chilling clothes, but I try to stay balanced. If I'm gonna do anything as far as advertisement, merchandising, I want it to be balanced. I don't want it to be too colored, too cluttered. I don't want it to be lacking anything. I want it to be balanced, because when you have things balanced, it gives you the opportunity to appeal to more people. Like I said, if you got a business card that just got like so much stuff on it, you know, you got to understand that you got certain designs and things that you can do and how you can format it that's going to attract more of a younger clientele, where there may be some things that you may need to scale back on to appeal to a more business professional clientele, or appeal, like if you try to get some older clients, you know, because older clients is good. They're not going to want a card with a whole bunch of stuff that look like a club flyer. You know, you got to be real mindful of that. What type of clientele that you want to attract, you want to make sure that you package, which is a very important word. Package yourself and your merchandise and your advertisement so you'll be able to appeal across the board. I don't have any of my cards right now. They're in my room. But I redid my cards. I did it to where, to me, it's a very classy card. I did something different. My card fold up. You know, you can fold it out to see additional information. You know, it's just real simple, because I want to attract to a more professional. You know, if clients can come from many different avenues, whether you cut somebody up off the street, whether you got somebody that's in church, whether you got a business professional, high school students, you know what I'm saying, a senior citizen, they come from all walks of life. And you have to be mindful of that. You can't say, well, hey, this is how I want to do it, because you don't never know who you may be losing in the shuffle. And the goal is to become successful and to be multifaceted and having multiple types of clientele, to be diverse in your services, because that's what's going to make you better. So that's number 2. Number 3 is maintaining focus, because it's going to be a lot of footwork and a lot of energy that you may have to invest in getting your brand out there. Not being able to not being afraid to invest in good cars. You know, you can go places and get cars for $250, for $50. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you want to get out, you may need to invest a little bit more. Get some t-shirts made, get some hats made, you know what I'm saying? Flyers. But be willing to do the footwork too. Be willing to get up every day, or while you at the shop and things are slow, to say, hey, I'm going to go hit the mall. I'm going to go hit this store, walk around, have my cars up. Because like I said, they're not going to come to you. You have to take what you have to them and expose that to them. So you got to get up and do it. You can't expect for it to happen by itself. Be willing to put that energy in, because I guarantee you, if you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this game, it will pay off in the long run. I'll give you a quick testimony about how I started off in the game. I went to a shop to where my cousin, who was a great barber, was already established. He was the only barber in the shop for some years. So he had a well-established clientele. He was very artistic. I mean, he was cutting pictures and, you know, doing designs and colored pencils like a decade ago. I come in, new face, I was doing an apprenticeship, so I was still in school, but didn't nobody know me. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I did, I made sure I came to work every day on time. I stayed there. Even while he was bumping, I was there. I may not was cutting that many heads, because we didn't have a large walk-in base coming in, but I was there. And then my cousin made a transition to where he got his own shop with his family. So now I became the face. But people became comfortable with coming to me, because even if they didn't know how good I can cut, one thing they did know is that I was dependable and I was there. Every time they came to the shop, whether they came to get their hair cut by my cousin or pick somebody up, they seen Taz sitting there in his chair. Stuff is put together well. You know, I was dedicated. Sooner or later, I became the man of the house. And when clientele started getting to experience the quality of service I can provide, it started attracting more. started attracting more, and it became to a point to where we either brought in another barber who was established in this neighborhood, but he didn't really, to me, he didn't take it as serious. I think he looked at it as a hustle, which I highlighted in my last barber tip video, to where he'd come to the shop, but he'd leave. He'd be out kicking it, doing whatever. He had clients come looking for him, calling. He wouldn't be there. What made them come to me? Because they felt like, well, hey, anytime I came to the shop, Taz was here. So anytime I need to come to the shop, Taz is going to be here. And I started getting his clientele to where all the people, majority of all the people that he was servicing, due to him not being there, all started coming to me. And it came to a point to I worked in a salon / barber shop, but it was mainly a salon because I was the only barber. To where we had like 8 to 10 dryers lined up on the wall. We had a waiting area of like 6 to 8 chairs, and then we had additional chairs, professional chairs, styling chairs and stuff that was positioned. It got to the point to where I literally have all these chairs covered with people that was waiting to get serviced by me. I have like 8 to 10 people at one time, just waiting to get their haircut. But I wouldn't have never got to that if I didn't put the sweat, blood, and tears in there. And when I went on, as I became more experienced in the game and get more exposure, my clientele grew. Right? It grew tremendously to where I was servicing women. I was doing women hair as well. I had to redo it to where I can only do women hair on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because my Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays would be bombarded, where I was doing pretty much literally like 70, 80 heads a week at a time. Like it would be exhausting, but I appreciated that. And I wouldn't have got there if I didn't stay dedicated. If I would have got discouraged, if I would have gave up during them slow periods when I was trying to probably making 30, 40, 50 bucks a week, I would have never seen the success that came with that, And because I stay humble and because I stay dedicated, things I still got blessings on top of blessings. I started doing contracts with group homes and daycares, which was another source of income. Doing contracts with senior citizen living homes. I tried to make the transition of trying to cut the military hair, but that was too many hurdles. But, I became known to where my clientele went from just the regular people in the neighborhood who just found out about the barbershops to where I had doctors, I had lawyers, I had comedians and a couple of celebrities, a couple of people who went to the NFL league, who got drafted. I was exposed to stuff like that, musicians and things like that, because I stayed dedicated. So understanding that it's going to take a lot of footwork, things are not going to come fast to you, but I encourage you to stay focused, to stay strong, and to always remember how you reflect your brand. When you're trying to get a client, who you are and what you offer them, whether it's a card, a flyer, whatever it is, it reflects your service. It reflects your brand. And we always want to keep our brand at the forefront of everything we try to do. So understanding that, make sure that you're putting the footwork on. And understand that this is a process. It's going to take time. It may be a rough first 6 months, first year, but stay with it. It will pay off. Once again, this is the Barber Tip of the Week from TazThaBarber. Hope you enjoy. Leave a comment. Feel free to share. Thank you once again, and I'll check you out next time. Peace.